Gordon, you're sort of the founder. How did the club get started?
In '74, I put on a couple of events. One was an open track with Bob Bondurant at Sears Point, and then I put on a big picnic in Ignacio Valley Road, Concord, and people started showing up, and it just grew from there. And the open tracks have taken off, and once you get out on an open track, you never want to go back.
You never go back.
No,
So did you ever think it'd grow to something like this, an event that's so spectacular?
Never. These events here are really full, and the vintage race for the Cobra event 2 weeks ago at Monterey was spectacular too.
The club did our first open track in 1984 at Sears Point. It was a tremendous success, and really has been the main reason the club has been so successful. Everybody got to seeing that we were doing these open tracks. Just membership increased tremendously. We went from like 200 members to 500 in 2 years.
Now, how many cars are here today?
We think over 250 cars today.
I heard a vote for 8 laps.
8.
8 laps, happy? 8 laps it is. Okay, 2 pace laps, 8 laps.
A little slow this morning, all these little cardiovascular pump up there, and that did it, I'll tell you.
Tom, you're the other national rep for the NorCal Club here at this outstanding event, and you have some stunning historic cars here. What's all here today?
We've got a wide variety of cars here today, fortunately. We had a good turnout. We've got a GT40 down over here. We've got a Cobra Daytona Coupe. They only built 6 of those.
Very rare.
Very rare. We've got several different Cobras. We have a lot of the Shelby Mustangs, 65 through the last one, which was 1970.
Well, it's been a great event, and you should be commended for putting these babies out on the track.
Well, thank you.
Thanks a lot for having us, Tom.
Come back again.
We will. I got to tell you, this is one of the most amazing stories I've ever encountered in my travels. You are the original owner of an original 65 Cobra.
I am.
Mm-hmm. And you bought this baby brand new.
Brand new from the factory. They came out from Pomona Ford
and
dealership.
This has not been any Trailer Queen,
no
powder puff. You drive this thing.
I drive it regularly.
So much that, how many miles do you have on it?
129,710 miles.
You even have the original paperwork and the stickers.
Yes.
What was the sticker price on this car?
Actually, let's see, I can better show you then. I would say the original price was $6,390.23.
Rock and roll. The story of the Continental Mark II is both short and sweet. In the early 1950s, Ford Motor Company decided to form a new division that would build America's premier automobiles. Named the Continental Division after Edsel Ford's gorgeous pre-war Lincoln Continental Mark I, the goal was to build cars that were far superior to any others made in America, including Cadillacs. The first and only model the Continental Division would build was the stunning Mark II, which debuted in 1956. No expense was spared in the design and production of this two-door luxury cruiser. Only the finest materials from around the world were used in its construction. The engines were machined to exact tolerances and dynoed before they were dropped into the car. Pre-assembly of the body, sanding, and painting were all done by hand. The end result was a car that was a critical success around the world, but a sales failure. All that handmade luxury set owners back $10,000, and Ford still lost over $1,000 on each car. By comparison, the average Cadillac cost about $5,000, so it's no surprise that the 56 production totaled only 1,325 cars and dropped to just 444 units in 57. Continental built the Mark III during 1958, but it was really just a warmed-over Lincoln and bared no resemblance to the understated beauty of the Mark II. Ford dropped the Continental division after 58, and what remained was merged into Lincoln. We traveled to Texas to get an up-close look at one of these amazing cars. Well, today we're in Southlake, Texas, and I'm here with Wayne Davis. Wayne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, sir.
And we're here to talk about Don Davis's stunning 57 Continental Mark II. Well, these cars are unbelievable. They were built almost by hand.
Yes.
The chrome was thicker than industry
Yes.
standard. It's like a mirror. And I'd love to see under that Continental trunk.
Like I said, this is the original key to the trunk, which is real unique design.
Very.
This car's that's all the original trunk, the original jack, original spares never been on the ground.
This is a very low mileage original car.
Yes, 8,000 mile car.
And unrestored except that it was
Been repainted, that's
repainted. Now these cars, and for their time, were just so advanced. When everybody else was throwing fins and chrome and stuff on, this was elegantly simple and very low profile, low silhouette because of the cowbelly frame that they used on it.
Channel down over the frame.
The doors weigh a ton.
Yes.
And are loaded with chrome, but the interior's gorgeous too. All original?
All original interior. These cars all had bridge of wear leather, and this is all the original interior in it. The original rugs in the car. If you notice the Continental up on the cowl, that's the original. All those cars had that.
I can smell the leather. It's wonderful.
Beautiful.
And it's got air conditioning too.
Yes. This car was one of the very few that had factory air.
Well, and now powering this car was a 368 engine.
Yes. 300 horsepower.
And that was up from the 56 model by a few horses.
About 25 horsepower. And under the hood is all original, except for the radiator cap and the upper radiator hose and the battery, of course.
So other than the years, this is how it looked in 57.
In 1957, yes, sir.
Now I understand, dynoed every one of these engines and stripped them back down and all that before they put it back in the car.
Checked all the clearances, everything, and then put them back in the car to make sure they were just perfect before they got to the end user.
Now this car new cost $10,000, which was part of its problem when Caddies and Buicks
yes, that was a lot of money.
5 to 7.
Yes.
But it was built like no other car, truly a hand-built car.
Hand-built car. Beautiful cars.
Well, it'd be wonderful to take it for a ride.
You bet. You bet. Let's go. Notice how that hood closes?
That is incredible.
Like an ice box.
This whole car is 218 inches long.
Correct.
And tips the scale at
right at 5,000 pounds, 4,900 and change, almost 5,000.
Wow. Now, all of this is leather. The dash is leather covered?
Yes.
Sun visors?
Sun visors, all the garnish moldings, everything is pure leather. You notice where your air conditioner ducts come out?
Oh, that's interesting. As we finished our drive, I couldn't help but be impressed by the Mark II. The car was amazingly quiet, refined, and poised. And the workmanship definitely had a Rolls-Royce feel. It's a shame the car didn't sell, because it did set new standards for American production cars.